You're listening Laugh Out Loud with Dave and JJ.
Family! Chris. All right, you there?
Everybody keep it down. We're on live radio.
Well, I'm trying to tell the family be quiet. We're on live radio. Dogs are running around.
Dog running around. He can't see where he's going.
Well, there's two dogs that can't see where they're going because the old one's blind and the other one's head was covered up.
Where do we start?
I don't know. It's Tuesday.
Let's go. Can we rewind a little bit?
Let's rewind.
Let's talk about Charlotte.
Let's talk about Charlotte.
Actually, let's go back a little further. I'm hoping that the endorsement deal with Adidas has come through.
No one from Adidas or Starter has shown up. That was one of those good faith sponsorships where you endorse a product, hope that someone important sees it and really just enjoys it and wants to float you a couple $1 million of PSA action.
Exactly. That's what I was thinking.
Well, it didn't happen. Not yet. They even Bob has protested the win. They've momentarily taken the trophy away from me, so I've lost my J.D. McDuffie
picture.
I've lost my J.D. McDuffie trophy.
Why was he complaining he was at the urinal too long?
Now, they said I may still have it back. Got to wait for some kind of review. It had to do with the length of my shorts, I think.
I think that's a little bit of a shortcoming.
Well, we'll see. They said it was within the 16th of an inch. We're going to find out.
Oh, well, okay. Rulers will tell. Or the odd quarter on its side.
That's exactly it.
Yeah?
Exactly.
Okay. All right. Well, that's good. Hope everything works out well for you.
I do, too. It was, it was a lot of fun. I was really surprised by Bob Pockrass. He did really good. He had a lot of fun with it, which... I don't even know the word I'm looking for, but he was a lot of fun to do it with. Sometimes, he seems straight-laced, and, he was cut back. We had pretty serious, and the guys from Rowdy followed suit. So it was cool. It was really cool.
Yeah, the end result was absolutely hilarious.
I don't know what their total views are so far on it.
I sent it around to everybody I know, and they just died. So they thought the get-up was cool, and said Adidas has got to be doing something for them.
Hopefully enough people see it and thought it was fun.
Took the time to actually watch the whole thing, and it was hilarious, so good job. The Saturday night race, so you exited after, was it 37 or 73 laps?
73 laps.
Or did somebody say, Kasey's not feeling so good, and hanging around the garage and...
No. We ran our 73 lap. We didn't want to put too many miles on the engine, and the way it turned out, obviously being the first one out. NASCAR had a list of things that they were looking for from the car that gets tore down, which was us, and different things.
Yeah.
So they needed the engine. They had a list of shocks and bars. When the race was over, or when my race was over, I got changed and was just, help whatever they needed help with. Was hanging out with the guys, and the 26 was parked about 2 stalls down from us, and he had gotten into the fence and knocked the oil cooler loose, and, realized that Kasey was on the other side of where we were. Just kind of went over to see, I actually saw his crash on TV with Sam Hornish, which is kind of looking in the car and wandering around as I was coming back. The gas guy motioned to Joe, the car chief on the 36 car, for me to kind of hang on. And someone had come over to me and said that, they were in the process of getting the car put back together. Casey wasn't feeling well, and they were going to check to see if he was able to get back in the car to run some laps so they could, try to salvage a couple positions. And asked if I didn't mind hanging out. I said, no, that's fine. And, I hung around for about 15, 20 minutes, and we pushed everything over the trailer, got everything pretty much loaded, and, got to the point where I was like, okay. I called Kristen, told her I was on my way home, and was ready to go. And right about then, someone come over and give me the thumbs up, and I wasn't exactly sure what the thumbs up meant. But they said, hey, I didn't know if that was, hey, we're good, thanks for hanging out, or, we need you. So, ran back in to Tommy's trailer, got changed, got all my stuff. I said, no, we need you. Kasey's not feeling well. Took it over to the 9 hauler, put it in there, and it worked out good for everyone. I was probably the best fit for getting into Kasey's car. He uses a molded carbon with molded inserts, which he's a lot slimmer than I am. I will put it that way.
Really?
Yeah. Well, I mean, if he's probably a 30 waist. I'm a 33. But, I guess the biggest thing was, they don't use adjusters on their belt. They have specifically sewn links. And if he has a problem with it digging into his hips. So luckily they're very they're very prepared. They had a bunch of different links with them. We changed it and got some belts that fit my waist. Obviously there wasn't any problem with the chest belt. The submarine belts were a bit of an issue because they didn't have any longer than what was in the car. They were a little bit snug, and by snug I mean it was like driving around with someone had their foot in my crotch. It was snug. But, I didn't really have to change anything.
It's funny you say that, because there you are getting into a car that apparently has no brakes.
Well, and I knew that they had changed the master cylinder, that they had to have some other problems. But, it was the first thought in my mind is after I got belted in, the NASCAR officials said, hey, if you're not comfortable with anything, don't push the issue. And obviously, I knew the car had been wrecked. Everything was pretty much cosmetic with the car. They didn't have any hard damage. So the only thing I had to do, I had to raise the steering wheel, about an inch. Everything else was fine. Went out there. Luckily, the caution had come out just as I was going on the track, so it allowed me to make sure everything felt fine, brakes and everything was good. And then, took about 2 laps, easy, making sure everything was good. And, taking it easy, I was running over the guys in front of me. And, the car was more than capable of going out and running some pretty good lap times. And it was a little bit on the tight side. I'm sure a lot of that had to do from an aero standpoint because the car was fairly beat up. So at the end of the day, I gave them 6 points, and, I got stuck in traffic.
I bet. Did you hear from Kasey at all after that?
No, I hadn't heard from Kasey or anyone over there. And I didn't realize, and I guess the second week in a row that they'd had some kind of brake failure or brake problems, and he was pretty upset. I guess he let everyone hear it over the radio, and obviously know now from reading all the articles and interviews that they've a little friendly banter going around, and people were mad. I guess you'll have that. There's a lot of pressure, I'm sure. The team, their sponsors going somewhere else. You got a driver coming in. Casey's leaving. It's not just a regular cohesive group. It's everyone trying to survive for 5 or 6 more races.
Well, it was nice to, because I did read the article on NASCAR.com, where he did say he wanted to thank JJ and appreciate you doing that. He just didn't feel good enough to get back into the car. So, and to think he was going to run a 5K for his foundation on Sunday morning. So I'm not quite sure how he would have made it with that. So
yeah, and sometimes. I'm sure he may not have felt well, and, if the circumstances were different to where maybe they were only a lap down or, they were able to get back out, he may have been able to tough it out. After you've gotten out of the car and haven't been in the car for, 100 laps, maybe you start feeling more ill. Sometimes once the adrenaline dries down, you lose a bit of that drive. And like I said, I know that there was only about 2 positions that they could gain. Yeah,
he did come out on lap 124, I guess, after the accident. Was quoted saying he had vomited after the accident, and it was just sick in the race car. So just nice to see you. I did have my fundraiser on Saturday night, and that was kind of the ongoing ribbing when you got back in the car. Is look at that, he's like running twice. There's TJs, there's 2 Yeleys out there.
There's one in
43rd. There's one in 43rd, and there's one that's gaining on the field. So
I had a fair amount of people tell me, that there was confusion. They just figured the TV was broken.
Oh yeah.
You never know. Anything can happen anymore. And obviously coming back out in Casey's car 100 laps down, you're not going to get a whole lot of TV time explaining what the situation is. And I'm sure it was probably better for everyone at RPM and for Kasey that they didn't. Instead of these issues going on during the week with people on the radio or newspaper, when you got live TV running up there to ask you what's going on, it can create a few more problems.
Martinsville this weekend, you're going to attempt to qualify the 81 or Whitney Motorsports Dodge. And
that is correct. When they decided that they wanted to go ahead and try to run Martinsville, they were guessing that there's probably going to be 44, 45 cars. And now we've got, I think today made official, there's 48 cars. Robbie Gordon's going to enter in the 07 car. And they're going to lock in Kevin Conway in the 7 car this week versus the switcheroo from last week in Charlotte. So, it'll be interesting. I know that with the Dodges, they are fairly underpowered. Usually when you're at Martinsville, getting grip is kind of an issue. I don't think it'll be as much of an issue as it has been in the past, just for the fact of the way they set up these new COT cars with the rear roll bars and the rear springs being, exceptionally soft. That fixes a lot of the problems. They used to run springs that soft back in the day, and, they just didn't turn it good. Now they've figured out a way to make them turn with the rear bar and make them have that forward bite with the front. I know, 2 years ago, 3 years ago, whatever it was, you were running like a 150-pound left rear spring and a 1,200-pound right rear spring. Now you're running a pair of 300s. So, obviously there's a substantial amount more grip in a spring that's only 300 pounds versus 1,200 pounds.
Okay.
So, it's going to be cooler. The car's have more grip, which, hurts us not having as much power, as much torque either. But I think, with the package that Tony has put together, I was always comfortable with the cars there, and, with that same basic package, we were very safe with our speeds at Dover, and hopefully we can do the same thing. You know, the thing that's probably on my side is, you know, the nationwide race being in St. Louis, you've lost some of the guys who've been starting and parking some different cars that have, you know, run multiple races, so they've kind of got a good groove going on. You have multiple drivers this week that are, you know, driving cars they've never driven, working with crew chiefs they've never been with, going to Martinsville. So having a little bit of time with the crew chief and working on that package, it will be, you know, it should be a little bit of a benefit for us.
From what I'm reading, are you not going to be running Talladega?
Right now, I'm not running Talladega. You know, they talked about originally with one of the Whitney Motorsports cars of taking 2 cars. Key point was if we could have got a Chevrolet for the second car. And I think just being short notice, you know, they just couldn't get them an engine in time for that second car. And Tony just wasn't real comfortable bringing a Dodge down there for the fact that, you know, it may not make a race. And, you know, I spoke a little bit with Joe Nemechek. He was planning on taking a second car. You know, as of this weekend, I think that they were going to have Fuller. I think he works for Joe Nemechek, who's, you know, a long-time nationwide racer. I think they were going to have him run the second car. So, you know, some stuff slipped by. But if it doesn't happen, then that just means I can spend the weekend at home with Kristen and Faith, and we get to do Halloween trick-or-treating, and my mom's coming to town, so if I can't be at the racetrack, we'll make it a nice family time here at home.
She hit her first career Grand Slam tonight?
She did. She crushed it. And, you know, in T-ball, the last batter always rounds the bases. The bases were loaded. We reversed the order. She was the last batter. First pitch, she kind of foul tip. Second one just hammered it right over third baseman's head and bounced all the way out to the fence. So a big hit, big run all the way around. And it was funny when she grounded third base was coming home because I was the catcher and cheerleader to make sure the girls touch home base. She was smiling ear to ear and she was running faster than she normally does. So it was a lot of fun, and I really enjoy being I guess an assistant to Kristen and Terry Bliss and the other coaches, because you know, you go out there and you get to hang out with girls that are 5 to 7 that are really just kind of enjoying their time. And their last game is Saturday. We'll all be in Martinsville, so you know, hopefully everything goes well on Friday, and I'll miss Saturday's game, which will stink. But you know, we'll keep plugging away and see if we can get something put together. You know, obviously it's good to be at the track and qualifying and being seen, and you know, people realizing that we can still get the job done. But as of right now, everything will be start and park. It's, you know, I mean, there's a point where it's tough as a race car driver knowing that, you know, you work so hard, the team works so hard that you make the race that, you know, obviously it doesn't make financial sense to go out there and run it, but you sure would like to run more than 50 laps or 75 laps, whatever that lap counter normally may be. You know, I mean, I was joking with the guys this weekend because, you know, all the races I've run this year, I've never had a set of stickers for. Usually, you know, we use up all of our stickers to qualifying practice, and, you know, those are the same sets that you use for the race because, you know, obviously you don't want to go invest another, whatever it is, $6,000, $8,000, $10,000 for another 4 or 5 sets of tires. The 90 laps that I drove Kasey's car, you know, we started on stickers when I rolled out of the garage. We made 2 more pit stops. So I had 3 new sets of tires and 80 laps on Saturday's race, which is 3 more new sets than I've had all year long. So it was, you know, it was nice to be back in a situation where there's a team with a sponsor and, you know, you can do the things to go out there and be fast on the racetrack.
Gives you that little bit of extra drive and knowing what you're missing, right? So I did receive the delivery today. It will be muchly appreciated. Billy New, for those people that have a moment to take a look at www.anewhope, and it's spelled ANEUHOPE.com, was a summer student that worked for our company. This would have been his 3rd summer, this past summer, and unfortunately he had a accident in a pool and has become paraplegic. Tomorrow he's actually coming home from the rehabilitation center, and it's also his 21st birthday. And this Saturday night is a huge fundraiser, and I know they've sold over 850 tickets for this event. It's always been a bright part of our summer student program. My thoughts and prayers are definitely with him and his family, and hoping that Saturday night is a huge success for them. So not many people give away what you do, so I just want to say thanks.
Oh, well, I appreciate it, and I think it's really cool what you're doing, and, you know, anytime something like that happens to someone so young is obviously not good at all. So I hope that, you know, everything turns out well on Saturday, that they can raise a bunch of money, and, you know, something like that is, you know, obviously very devastating for his family and for the rest of his life. So
it is, yeah. Okay,
you guys have a good night. I'm going to help him get Faith ready for bed.
Have a good Martinsville, and if you land something for Talladega, great. And if you don't, we'll talk to you in a couple of weeks. Have a good Halloween.
All right, awesome. You guys too. Thank you.